Me is the most, in my life I have seen many spiritual swamis and everybody, but the authentic spiritual human being, the most honorable person, one and only, Suyogi's husband, Manibhai. Welcome.
My name is Manfred, or Mani. I'm Suyogi's husband, and I'm actually a professional trainer. I conduct seminars, and such an announcement has never happened in my life before. So, I consider myself to be a very normal person. And Clint, can you start with a presentation? I've prepared a little bit about my presentation, about my life experience. Something happened in my life which was a great threat and a big turnaround in my life. And still, I have experience with the help of Dr. Naram, with the help of Suyogi, and with the help of my spiritual master, how you can deal with this, and that even a big threat in a life doesn't have to be a disaster. No. Yes, thank you. So, that's me. We can directly come to the next slide. This is how I looked on 13th of October 2013. Not very happy. I was bleeding. It was really a shock in my life. What happened was actually a couple of days before. On 13th of October, it was a Sunday, I was at home and I was climbing the stairs to reach the first floor. And I had just stepped on the second step, and then I turned around because I wanted to get something from downstairs, and somehow I didn't realize that there are two steps in front of me. I just had climbed up 2 steps, turned around, and I thought it's only 1 step. First step went on the staircase, second step went into nothing. And I simply fell down on the stone ground, and I got this nice blue eye from this, and I had a broken arm. I went to the hospital. They put this plaster around, they checked everything. They were a bit worried about this eye because maybe there's an internal bleeding, but everything was more or less okay. And then I said, coming home, now I go to Munich. Because I had a seminar in Munich for the next 3 days, and I didn't want to miss that, and I didn't want to let the people wait. Everybody thought, I must be crazy in this condition with a broken arm and with a blue eye, and now I'm going to conduct my seminar. But I was decided, I went. And for 3 days I was standing there, broken arm, blue eye, then the other eye was also getting blue. People got used to it, and I returned. And on Thursday, I had my next seminar in Berlin. Okay. And I went there, and in the evening, I went to see the doctor because I needed to check my arm because I had no time. Next week, I was again going to Munich for 5 days, and on Friday, I had another seminar, so I was completely booked. And on Friday morning, I went to my seminar, and it was still dark outside. And there was some root on the path, on the way, and I fell again. And this time flat on my face. And this is why this blood came out. I looked horrible. I went back home, and I was in this condition. And actually, it was not paining so much physically, but the real pain came from inside. I thought, I'm starting to lose control of my body. I'm falling, and I cannot control this. Somehow, I felt something is going on. This is not okay. So I went again to the doctor to get this somehow repaired a little bit. And I cancelled next seminar, next week in Munich. I stayed at home. And the doctor said, if somebody is falling twice in a week, you should also consider that this could be a neurological symptom. And I thought, neurological symptom? No, I just have missed my staircase and I just fell in the darkness. It is nothing with neurological. It is just a normal thing. And I have to say that in the next year, in 2014, I fell again twice in a sequence of a couple of months. And I have to say, this is not normal if somebody is falling and falling. It's dangerous. If you're falling, you're out of control and anything can happen with your body. You might fall on the road and the car is coming. So it was really a big thing. So, but there was another symptom. Clint, you might continue. There was another symptom, and this had nothing got to do with this thing. It was already before. I was sitting at the table at home, and Pooja was there, and we were talking to each other, and then Pooja said, "What is this with your eye? It's moving in a funny way." And I said, "What is my eye? It's moving in a funny way? I'm normal. Nothing is with my eye. It's just my eye." And she said, "No. This left eye is always going a little bit slower to the right side than the right eye." And then I didn't know about this. I took a camera and checked it, looking like this in the camera, and had to admit this eye is not moving in a normal way. But I mean, it's not a big disaster. If your one eye is sometimes moving slower than the other eye, it's not a big issue. But because of this eye, and because a doctor had told me, you should consider that there's something neurological. In the end of the year 2013, I went to my eye doctor to get my eyes checked, because I needed to know if I need new glasses or not. Just a regular routine checkup. And in the end of the checkup, I told her, and by the way, my left eye is sometimes moving a little bit slower than the right eye. And she got ears like this, listening like this, and she checked it somehow with a lamp and with a pen, and she wanted to see how the eyes are moving. She wasn't satisfied. And in the end, she said, "You need to get this checked properly in a hospital. You must go to the clinic in Berlin and meet this professor and get your eyes checked." I said, "Okay." Because it was not a problem. It was just the eye movement going a little bit slower. So I forgot the whole thing. In February 2014, I was in a seminar in Aachen. In the lunch break, while I was there with the people of the group, I received a call from Berlin, an unknown number. I picked it up. "Here is Dr. Actually, I forgot her name, unfortunately. "Here is Dr. So-and-so. Have you already got the appointment with the clinic?" And I said, "What? She's calling me to ask me if I have got the appointment with the clinic?" And I was a bit worried about this. And then she said, "If you have not got it, are you free on next Friday? I can make the appointment for you." And I said, okay, I'm going next Friday. So I went there, and they checked it again, and there was this Professor Rüther. He's a very knowledgeable person in this field. He just checked my eyes again, and in the end he said, because I always thought this must be something with the muscle of my eye, because it's moving slowly. In the end he said, it has nothing to do with the muscle, it is something with the nerves. And there may be some kind of inflammation in your brain or on the nerves. So we need to proceed and check it more thoroughly. And then he also told me, "I will send you a report about this, but if you see the report, don't look it up in the internet, because then you might get worried and there may be horrible things and you get depression and so. So better not to look it up." He sent me the report. And the first thing to do was to look it up in the internet and to find out what it was. And Suyori was there with me. She is more knowledgeable in this field. And it came out, it is a very high likelihood of multiple sclerosis. I didn't know what they said, multiple sclerosis. So I checked it in the internet again, and we want to see that next slide. Okay, no, this is, continue with it, yes, but can you click one more time?
Yeah,
can you see, watch this eye, please. Can you see how this is moving slower than the other side? Yeah, so this was one of the symptoms. And now the next step was this multiple sclerosis. This was a diagnosis which I got after going from one doctor to the next doctor to the next doctor, and they all checked in their way how it was. I got a brain scan and everything. And this is, oh my God, demyelinating disease in which insulating covers of the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord are damaged. It's actually, in normal language, it means it's a disaster. Because once you get it, you are bound to deteriorate at a slow or high speed. So it could be that after a few years you're sitting in the wheelchair. This was a forecast. One thing was sure, it will never get better, and if you're very lucky, then it proceeds only very slowly. This was my forecast. But fortunately, Suyori, immediately when she saw that it might be multiple sclerosis, she said, "Don't worry, we will do something about it, and you don't need to suffer from it." And she told me also that what was one patient which she met when she was still in training, when she learned the pulse reading with Dr. Naram at the clinic. There was one lady from France. She had multiple sclerosis, and she came in a wheelchair to the treatment, and she left the clinic walking. She was not walking perfectly well, but imagine, from a wheelchair into walking, this is a big success. So I was not so much worried about this. And then the doctors asked me also many questions, and I had to admit that I had a lot of symptoms. I made a list of altogether 6 different symptoms which I had, like tingling sensation in the legs, numbness in the leg, then loss of balance and all, then the eye problem. The doctors also found another eye problem with the optic nerve. That means the seeing was also impacted. And the big worry was, will it go worse or not? And then, maybe you can come to the next one. Yeah, okay, this is still about the primary progredient MS. There are 4 different types of multiple sclerosis. This is the worst one, and this is the one which I got. Because most MS patients, they get some prolapses or attacks. So once in a while they have this problem for a week or 2 weeks, and then this gets better. And after half a year or 2 years, it comes back, attack, better. And only over the years it's increasing. But this primary progredient MS means it's without attacks. Simply the symptoms are increasing. And this is what doctors are saying to us. And it cannot get better and it cannot stop. So constantly increasing. It is mostly men in the age of 40 to 50 years old. And there are no medicines available for this. For the other forms, they have some medicines, which I also wouldn't like to take. But for this form of multiple sclerosis, there's no cure. You can only go into the wheelchair or go to the bed, and sooner or later you will die. So, can we come to the next? So what did I do? After Suyogi gave me some advice, I changed my life completely, I would say. I was vegetarian before, already for many years. But from then on, I became a vegan and I only gluten-free food. And I'm following this very strictly. I'm very particular about this. I love chocolates and I love cake. And I love sweets, all desserts. I really love this. But the problem with all of them is there's always milk inside or wheat flour. So I have cancelled all these things. And for me, the decision is actually not so difficult because the question for me is, should I eat the chocolate with a good taste and go in a wheelchair, or should I forget about the chocolate and go walking in a normal way? So then if you have such a decision, it becomes very simple to decide on it. So I'm following strictly this diet, even when I'm going to my seminars. So hotels, I'm informing them, I eat vegan, gluten-free food, and then it's a bit difficult, but they prepare it, so I can follow this diet. Then, actually there was a slide, Dr. Naram was showing it. How was the title of the slide? Something like treatment, I forgot the title. 6 points were mentioned. Six instruments. And I was reading this. I saw it's exactly what I'm doing. More or less the same things are there. And I'm very grateful that these 6 instruments have come into my life and how much they have helped. So, next thing, regular intake of herbal medicines. I'm doing this. I'm taking the herbs which have been prescribed by Dr. Naram to me. It's quite a lot. I mean, I'm eating a handful of tablets every morning and a handful in the evening. But, I mean, it's worth it. Because really, it helped me a lot. Then, I went 3 times already in these 3 years of 3.5 years. I went 3 times to India for a panchkarma treatment, which takes 3 to 4 weeks. And you get, I don't know, everybody might know about panchkarma, I don't know, it's a, yeah, okay, so I don't need to explain this. Then I have also changed my lifestyle. I'm more taking breaks. That's what I explained this. 2 weeks of seminars, one after the other. Actually, there were 4 seminars in 2 weeks, hunting from here to there. This I have stopped. I'm planning breaks because it's necessary for my body to also relax in between. The whole seminar is an exhausting thing. And you need to have a break. So this I'm doing regularly. What else? Exercise. Okay, exercise should be improved. Yeah. I'm doing it, but not regularly enough. But I want to do it. And regular sunbaths. I was not very fond of taking a sunbath before because I was scared of the burning of the skin and so, and I'd rather keep my skin very pale. And then I read in a book that this vitamin D is also important for the status of this multiple sclerosis, and vitamin D is again produced if you sit in the sun. So I regularly go into the sun. These are mainly the things which I have, and now let's see how this has helped me. What was the change afterwards? The results. This was a slide we saw already. Can you show it again? This eye, how slowly it is moving. And now let's compare it. I took one shot just today for you, so we can compare the situation. Can you see this eye? It's still slower, but I would say it has definitely improved. Yeah. So this was one of the symptoms, the eye movement, how everything came out in the beginning. Then next, this was another thing, because this professor in the clinic, he made a test with my eyes, because I was a candidate of MS, so he had to do this. I didn't know what they're doing. And he said that my right optic nerve is a little bit damaged. And I went after 1 year to a checkup. I wanted to see, is it progressing? Is it getting better? Or is it stable? I just wanted to know what is the status. So I went there, we did the test again, and then I was sitting in the floor and was waiting for the professor to meet him, and I had these 2 papers with me. And I was trying to understand what is written on the paper, because there were so many diagrams and colors and everything, I really couldn't make a clue out of it. And then after some time, after looking into this for 10 minutes, I understood, this is my left eye, and this is my right eye. And the left eye, how it was before in 2014 and how it was in 2015. And as you can see here, there are these circles with the colors. It was green and it stayed green. And that's written here, within normal limits and within normal limits. In other words, the left eye is totally okay. And then I was looking at the right eye, and maybe you can, then we see it a little bit bigger. This is the right eye, before and after, and I was comparing it. And I saw, look, there is red in one area and it has become green. Wow, it's better. And there's no area where green turned into yellow or yellow turned into red. It was only getting better. And I'm an engineer, I like such diagrams. Yeah? So I was looking also here and I saw, what is this green spot here? And I understood this is the improvement. This is what was before. And this is what it is now. I was very happy to see this is really getting better. What an improvement after 1 year. So I met then the professor, and he looked at the reports. Of course, he didn't need 10 minutes to understand the report. He was just looking at it, and he started to smile. And he said, oh, this is very good. You got a very good report. I also was very happy, and then we were talking a little bit. And then I asked him, what would you say? How much has it improved? According to your understanding, because I'm not an expert. And then he said, no, I don't say it is improved. I'm just happy that it didn't get worse. And I said, but look, this is green and it was red before, and this is also here. And then he said, yeah, but you know, this might also be just because of the measurement lines, and we actually should check it again to make sure. Actually, he did not believe that it is improved. And what does it show us? The doctor, the professor, he didn't believe it because, according to medical science, it's not possible. And that is because doctors never see this. It's never getting better. It's always getting worse. So their experiences cannot become better. So how fortunate am I that this happened in my life, that because of these 6 instruments which I got and which I could use, that all this improvement is there. And I also had yes, can you come to the next one? I made a small list of all my symptoms. Yeah, here we don't need to go into that detail. The eye movement is there, then the optic nerve is there, then balance affected also. I couldn't stand on one leg very well. I stood like this, one leg, falling. Not very long possible. Now I'm trying here. I'm not perfect because I still have MS. It is still there, but it's improved. So now, if the light is better, I can stand and I can even lift my hand up there, and I can do it. It was not before many years already, I knew that I cannot stand very well on one leg. And now after this treatment, just now when I came back from India, my last Panchakarma was just 2 weeks ago, it finished. When I came back, I checked this and I was surprised to see I can stand in a much better way. So can you show the numbers again? Because I'm an engineer, and you can express the numbers. So I just did like this. I wrote my symptoms down and my personal subjective judgment on a scale from 1 to 10. How big is a symptom? And 10 means a higher number, more symptom, 1 means lower symptom. And then I just edited it up. It's not scientific, it's my own subjective judgment, but it expresses what happened. 42 was it in the beginning. And now, on my scale, I'm at 19. This is only half of what it was before. When I saw this, I was surprised myself. How big is the improvement? Yeah? Some things have completely gone. They are not there. Actually, all the symptoms, they are not really, they don't bother. It's not an important thing, but the important thing is this. I have a disease, and if it is not in control, in the future, I might really be in a very bad position and might have big problems. And if I see that it is improving, then I feel very confident that in the future I will not come into any problems. So, and the last thing is, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, Suyogi, because Suyogi has taken a lot of care of myself. And it feels like she participates so much in this that she really, with her full heart, she wants to help me. And I thank you very much for doing this. She told me, I don't want you to become a vegetable in the future. I want you to be healthy all the time. And then she did a lot of studies about this. She found so many things about MS just to make it happen. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Naram, because he is a person who came with the 6 instruments and to show what you can do. And because of you, I can say, I'm a very happy and very healthy man, because I don't know what would have happened. 3 years have passed now. Maybe I would need to go on a stick already. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, I don't have a stick. I don't even know what are the different types of sticks or wheelchairs. I don't take interest in that. And last but not least, I want also to thank to my spiritual master, Hari Prasad Swamiji, because when it came out that it is MS, I have learned something from him. One of his teaching is that whatever happens in your life, it is because of the wish of God. So I thought, if this is the wish of God that I have MS, then it is his wish. And his second teaching is this: whatever comes in your life because of the wish of God, it is beneficial for you. God is not your enemy. God wants to do something positive for you. So it means something is there where I can learn something from it, or where I can grow, or where I can make a good experience. And in my case, I would say, first of all, my health condition all over has improved over the 3 years. And I have become more happier because I know more that I'm independent of all this stuff. This is just my body. And so I can say my happiness